Hello everybody, what's going on? So today in this video, I'm going to be doing a unboxing. Well, I guess it would be an unbagging because I got it in a bag. It's not in a box, but it is from Academy Sports and Outdoors, one of my favorite stores that is anywhere around here. Now, the one that I went to, if any of you guys live anywhere near me, is up in Terre Haute, Indiana. Finally got to go back up there after quite a few months. I think the last time I was there was May or April. I actually went up there when me and my dad won tickets to go see Travis Trent up there in concert. So went up there and I spent like $80 on tackle. I saved up some money here in the past few days. I actually earned some money by doing some work here at the house, and I actually saved up enough to get quite a bit of stuff. I actually got 66, I think it was 66.83. That's how much I spent today. So we'll go ahead and go through. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about some of the things that are not really lures, but they're more things that are going to help me a little bit. So this here, I couldn't pass this deal up because I've been wanting one for a while. This is a lure retriever. H2O Express is a company that exclusively sells to Academy Sports. I think it's like an Academy Sports exclusive type thing, kind of like the Ozark Trail stuff is at Walmart. This here is basically that. This is a lure retriever. Basically what you do is that little wire right there, you wrap your line around it, and then you send it down your line, and this little lead chunk will hit your bait and will knock it out of any snags or whatever you're in. And it's got some cordage, rope stuff on there. So I'm excited about this. Hopefully I won't have to use it, but knowing me, I will probably have to use it. Next is some fish grippers. So as you guys know from my last unboxing, I bought some stuff to try to catch either a pike, muskie, or grinnell. Grinnell, from what I've heard, they've got some pretty good teeth on them. So I bought some of these just in case, because if I do catch something big, I want to have this. And what I'm also going to do is I'm also going to calibrate my scale a little bit to where this will be able to put on if there's any big fish and stuff, because it's a little bit hard to get that hook underneath the fish's gill. So if I have this, I can just snap the fish on there and weigh it. So this here will come in handy for sure. This is a Rapala. That's what brand it is. $10. I figured, you know what, why not? This here, I'm actually quite excited about this stuff here. This is called Spike It Tournament Strength Fish Attractant Edition. It's shad smell. Now, I haven't opened it or sprayed it anywhere because I've just been in a car for a couple hours, and I don't want to spray it inside a car because I think they might get mad at me. So, I bought this, and I'm excited to use this as well. So, we'll go ahead and start talking about the fishing tackle. We'll go ahead and start pulling some of this stuff out. I got some things that I've really been wanting. I got one thing that I told myself when it first came out. I said, Michael, you don't need it. Don't buy it. So what did I do? First time I ever seen it, I bought it because I'm that strong of a willed person. I told myself, I said, Michael, you don't need it. You don't want to fish with that. Don't buy it. And what did I do? As soon as I seen it in the frog aisle, I bought it. So we'll go ahead and talk about that first. I bought some flies also, which is really cool. And the bait that I was talking about that I wasn't going to buy and then ended up buying is the Booyah Toad Runner. I told myself I wasn't going to buy it when it first came out. I said the same thing about the Teckle Sprinkler Frog. I said that I'm probably not going to end up buying it just because I don't really care to fish frogs fast. I like fishing them a lot slower. And what did I do? I bought one. So, yeah. But anyway, I'm actually kind of excited about it. Now that I've seen it in person, it looks pretty good. We'll go ahead and pull it out of the packaging here. Some of the stuff I opened in the car while we were driving back up here just to see it, look at it. Oh, I dropped the tail. It does come with an extra tail, which is a good thing, but it is a bad thing in a way because that lets me know that these tails are going to get lost sometimes. But just like one of my friends said here on YouTube, even if the tail gets ripped off, I can still use it as a normal frog, and I will definitely still end up using it as a normal frog. So it's got a pretty good weight to it. I don't think it says the weight on the packaging. I don't see it anywhere. No, it doesn't say it anywhere. I'm going to guess probably around a ½ ounce, maybe? I don't know. Possibly ½ ounce. But here it is. I got it in bluegill color. Now, what I like about it is it's got some short little legs here, but it's a very wide frog. And on mats, if you've ever fished mats with frogs, wide, thick frogs are really good on mats. And I like it's pretty soft too, so I think that'll increase hookups quite a bit. I don't think I actually need to even customize this. Sometimes I'll customize them where I'll pull the hooks up just a little bit. This one here, it looks like it should be alright. It's got a pretty good hook penetration there. I like the blue on the chin of the bait. That looks pretty good. I also like the little bit of a pinkish gray color here. That kind of looks pretty good. And I like the wire. If you guys see this, you can actually tune the bait where it'll make different sounds. See how the tail bends? You can also bend it that way to make it more of a subtle sound. I like that. I think that's pretty cool. To be honest, I could probably make tails for this. With my swim baits. I could probably take little swivels and build tails for these after I break these tails off. So I might do that. If I ever lose these tails, I might end up doing that. That'd be pretty cool. But looks pretty good. So we'll have to give it a shot. I don't know when I'm ever going to go back to a really grassy pond. There's one pond that I think that will work pretty good in, but it's a pretty weedy pond where there's a lot of grass along the banks, and it's pretty hard to really get a good cast in. So I think that there could be work decently well. So I got 3 different type of flies. I'm actually pretty excited about these. If you guys follow me on Facebook, you guys would have seen that I actually tied my own fly the other day and was able to catch my second bass ever on a fly. Now, I didn't get it on camera because I'm just not that smart, I guess. But I was able to tie my own fly and catch a fish with it. It wasn't a very big fish, and it wasn't a very good fly, to be completely honest. But it was pretty cool that I did that. Now I can actually say that I did that and not mess with it, because it was very difficult to tie with 15-pound braid as thread. I got this little dude here. This fly is called a dry fly. It's actually called the mosquito. Now, something I've noticed with these type of flies here is they'll sit on the surface for a few seconds and then they'll slowly sink to the bottom. So I think this here will be very good for the bluegill around here, because I'm going to bring, when I go fishing next time, when I bring my big bobbers and stuff for catfishing or for grinnell fishing, I'm actually going to bring my fly rod to catch bait. So that'll be pretty cool to use these. I might use these. I might use some other things as well. Then I got these here. These here are pretty cool. Now, they're all made by the same company called Superfly. They're premium flies is what it says. Now, this one here is a dry fly, and it's called a terrestrial hopper parachute. Whatever that means. It's basically a grasshopper fly. I think it looks pretty cool. It's got like little legs here, like to look like a little grasshopper. And I like the white on the belly right here. That looks pretty good. So I'm pretty excited about this. I think this here will get some bigger bluegill and maybe even some smaller to bigger bass. So I'm excited about that one there. That one there looks like it will do pretty good. Especially if I'm out bass fishing and I find that they're eating small minnows. I could probably catch them on this. This one here, though, this one here is more of a bass fishing fly. It's called a streamer, but it's called a muddler minnow. Now, I've heard the name muddler minnow before, and I don't know if it's a really good bait for bass, but it looks like it should be. And it's a streamer. It's got like a rounded head here with a couple of cool looking fly or feathers there. It looks pretty good. You can see the difference in size from this to these little guys. There's quite a bit of difference. This here is more of a bass fishing fly, but I think it's small enough that I could catch some bigger bluegill, but I could also get some pretty good bass on it as well. So I'm pretty excited about this here. It's got some gold flashing around the hook. That looks pretty cool. I think that'll look really good in the water, especially when I am stripping it through the water, basically like jerking it. If you're a normal bass fisherman, don't fly fish, a strip of the line is basically like if you were to take and reel up and twitch the rod tip with a topwater or a jerkbait or something like that. There's the 3 different flies I bought. The rest here is terminal tackle. I bought some Neko Rig weights. Now, the other day in one of my videos, I talked about the Neko Rig. And I said that I don't really throw it very much, and I probably should. So I ended up buying some little weights. I actually already have hooks for Neko Rigs right here. These here are bait holder hooks, but these people use these for Neko Rig and Wacky Rig all the time. So I figured it would work just fine. These are actually 3 32nd ounce. They're pretty long. Basically what you do with these is you stick them in the head of a bait. Do I have a bait long enough? Yeah, this one right here should be alright. It's a little bit thin for it. But basically what you do is you stick the worm, or stick the weight into the head of the worm, and then you hook the worm up here, and it sits on the bottom like this right here. That's basically how it works. So I'm pretty excited about this. I've only fished the Neko Rig once, and I didn't catch anything. Or no, I did catch something. I think I caught one. Honestly, I can't remember. But I also bought some tiny bluegill hooks. Now these are not really tiny because my cousin, Big Bait Baker, you guys know him, he has some size 14s. Now these here are size 10s. I thought these were pretty small. These were the smallest hooks I could find. These are actually Owner hooks, which if you guys are big into bass fishing, you guys know that Owner is a pretty big hook brand. A lot of people like them. I personally use a lot of their hooks. But these here are the tiniest hooks that I was able to find. I hope the camera can pick it up. It's pretty small. It's a size 10. It comes in a 12-pack. And they're mosquito hooks is what they're called. Now these are not technically mosquito hooks because mosquito hooks are smaller. If I remember right, mosquito hooks are like size 16. But these here are size 10, quite small hooks. What I'm going to use these for is catching bait, for fishing bigger baits, obviously. You know, my cousin, or my brother, when I was showing him these, he said, why are you going to use smaller hooks? You want to use bigger hooks for bigger fish. I told him, use smaller hooks, catch smaller bait, catch bigger fish with the smaller bait. So, it's a cycle. That's what I told him. But next, we got some tungsten weights. Now, I am not usually one to buy tungsten. I actually never bought tungsten. I never used tungsten. And I don't know if I'm going to get this open with these pair of needle nose pliers. The answer is no. I will not be able to get them open with needle nose pliers. I don't have a knife in here, do I? Nope, doesn't look like I do. Okay, well, they're H2O Express tungsten weights. They're ½ ounce, and it comes in a 2-pack. I think these were like $4, which is not very cheap, but whatever. I'll try to open these. But I've always heard that tungsten is better than lead. Personally, okay, I broke the packaging. Maybe I can break it open from here. Nope, doesn't look like I will. Okay, well, we'll just skip this, okay? ½ ounce tungsten weights. Next is the last piece of fishing equipment, actually the last piece of equipment at all. These here are wobble heads, and if you've ever fished a football jig, it's sort of like that, but these here are EWG hooks with football heads that wiggle. They kind of wobble. Now these here are 3/4 of an ounce, so this is a big head for bigger worms. I'm really excited to throw a slammer worm on these. I've never thrown a big worm on this type of stuff. I normally just throw like crawls and stuff, but I'm excited because this here is a pretty good size hook, and it's got a big head. Now I wanted green pumpkin, but the only color they had was black and blue. This was like I think it was the one of the 2 packs that they had. They only had 2 packs, and I was able to pick it up. So 3/4 ounce, pretty heavy. I think this is a 4/0 hook. The packaging doesn't say. That's what I kind of thought was odd, is it doesn't say on the packaging if it's, that was loud. All it says is 3/4. It doesn't say the size of hook. but I'm going to guess that it's a 4/0 just because I've used worm hooks like this, and it looks to me as a 4/0. At least that's what I think it is. So, pretty excited about all this stuff. I can't wait to get out and throw some of this stuff. Oh, real quick, I wanted to tell you guys a quick story before I end this video. Earlier today, before we left to go up to Terre Haute, I was actually out at the pond with my dad just talking, and I was throwing the 10-inch slammer worm in root beer color. And I was throwing it around, and he ended up coming into the house to go get some lunch. And I made a few extra casts, and I actually got bit, and I missed the fish. So I started reeling in the worm, and because of these slammer worms, the tail kind of kicks back and forth while you're reeling them. And all of a sudden, right at the bank, this thing blows up on this worm. The whole fish came out of the water. About that much of its head was out of the water on the bank, and he flopped a little bit and then went back in the water and swam off. He was after that worm so fast that he ran himself up on the bank. That's the first time that's ever happened to me. I've had fish hit top water right at my feet. My personal best, my 5-pound, 2-ounce fish did that. But I've never had a fish bite out deep and then follow the bait all the way literally up on the bank trying to get it. I've never had that happen, so that was pretty cool. But didn't have it on camera because, once again, I'm not that smart. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know what your favorite thing here that I got is, whether it's the toad runner frog or the muddler minnow flies, whatever. Let me know what your favorite thing that I got was. Thanks for watching. Bye.